2 sets for 1, 2-6, 6-4, 7-6.
A solid gold. Pinch me moment for Jasmine Paolini. At the age of 28, a first ever Wimbledon final.
Jasmine Paolini winning yesterday in a tough, hard-fought 3-set match, tiebreaker third set that she won 10-8 in the end, and moving on to the Wimbledon final, as you just heard. Welcome into the Sports Ticket here on Katy Country 94, brought to you by Kiffin Brothers Automotive in Beloit. Time to get back to real life, right? I've gathered myself from the end of Waterside Wake Up, and we're good to go and finish out the Sports Ticket for the final time here on Katy Country 94 for the time being anyway. I don't know what the future would hold for these shows, Waterside Wake Up and the Sports Ticket. I know that there won't be anything in the immediate future as far as morning shows as we kind of transition to our new general manager. I can tell you that as well. So, again, we are here on the Sports Ticket brought to you by Kiffin Brothers Automotive in Beloit. And, we have Wimbledon. We'll recap that. Men's semifinals are underway here this morning. Also, the Royals will be back on the field tonight. And I remember to go over the state softball for K-18 here before we get out of the show today as well. So I'm going to pull that up right now so I don't forget to tell everybody about the state softball tournament and the matchups that are going on there at Lucas coming up tomorrow and Sunday for the 5th annual K-18 state softball tournament. We'll tell you about that here momentarily here on the Sports Ticket. And again, also a longtime NFL defensive coordinator has passed away and college coach as well. And we will tell you some of the other stories that are going on in the sports world, kind of just some little things to chat about and continue on with here on the Sports Ticket on Katy Country 94. Once again, the K-18 State Softball Tournament taking place tomorrow and Sunday. Osborne actually has the number 1 seed, so they'll be off until Sunday at 10 o'clock, where they'll play the winner of the first game on Saturday between Scott City and Oakley at 10 o'clock in Lucas. And then, again, the winner moves on to play Osborne in the semifinals of the state tournament. Ellis against Quinter in Game 2, 30 minutes after Game 1 on Saturday. And then in Game 3 is 30 minutes after Game 2 as it's technically Game 2, 3, 4, but it's actually Game 1, 2, 3 because there's a bye in the first game. But we'll say Game 2 is Scott City Oakley, even though it is the first game of the day. And then Game 3 would be 30 minutes after Game 2 between Ellis and Quinter. Did I say Quinter? And then 30 minutes after Game 3 would be Game 4 between Beloit and Plainville at the state tournament. So that's a look at what's going on. K-18 state softball fast pitch here this weekend in Lucas. The state champion will be crowned here in 2024. All right, we already talked about Jasmine Paolini winning the first semifinal in the women's side of things. Actually, I believe it was the first semifinal there yesterday. And then the second semifinal was won in 3 sets as well by Barbara Krchikova, as Paolini and Krchikova will play in the final coming up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, I believe. Let me double-check that. Yep, looks like it's at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning there at the All England Club for the finals of the the ladies singles there at the All England Club in London. Wimbledon men's semifinals are underway here today. Daniil Medvedev won 7-1 in a tiebreak first set. 7-6 was the score of the set. But Carlos Alcaraz is coming back, the 3rd seed over the 5th seed Medvedev. He won 6-3 in the second set, and he's currently up 4-2 in the 3rd set with a break to his advantage there. In the first men's semifinal. Second men's semifinal is slated to start at 10. It'll probably be later than that. 2-seed Novak Djokovic against number 25 seed Lorenzo Musetti here as well this morning at Wimbledon. So that's an update on what's going on in tennis. Djokovic he's got the record for most Grand Slam titles on the men's side, and he's tied with Margaret Court on the women's side. So of all time, he's tied at 24 Grand Slams and looking for his 25th to be alone atop the all-time standings in both men's and women's tennis, and would be 3 up on Rafael Nadal should he win here on Sunday. He's got to win today against Musetti and then win on Sunday against either Alcaraz or Medvedev. We'll see what happens there, but obviously, Novak Djokovic, it's going to be hard. He's still healthy. He's not like a spring chicken young guy anymore, but he's still winning at a very consistent rate. I will be surprised if anybody, by the time Novak Djokovic has retired from tennis, I will be very, very surprised. I'm going to be honest with you. Records are made to be broken, and I understand that, but it's wild that these 3 guys Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer have just ruled tennis for like the last 15 to 20 years. When you kind of look at everything that's been going on in the world of men's tennis, and like I was saying the other day, I'm frustrated because no Americans are part of this process, but it is what it is. But if Novak wins on Sunday and gets his 25th, then I mean, you got to think that he's healthy enough to win maybe 2 or 3 more even after that if he continues to play the way he is. If this man gets to like 28, I just don't think anybody's ever. I don't even know if anybody will even come within 8. Like somebody might get to 20 again, but it's just like you've got to be so good for so long to get. There's only 4 Grand Slams in a year, and to think that the guy has won 24 right now, so that takes a minimum of 6 years playing tennis to get to that. That would be if you swept every Grand Slam every year. It takes a minimum of 6 years professionally to do that. And you're not doing that. You're not getting one. You're not winning every single one every single year. So that's a career that has to span, I would say, 12 to 14 years to be able to even come close to being able to match what Novak Djokovic has done. And so it's amazing to me that even in a time where 3 different guys have been winning, that they're all the ones that are winning and getting pretty much all these Grand Slams. So it's easy to see that this is why, right? Novak Djokovic is 37. He turned pro in 2003. It's taken him 21 years to get to 24, right? And so it's hard for me to believe that the guys are going to be able to play that long and play this consistently at the top of their game like Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer did for so long. And I just cannot see it happening in any way of anybody breaking that record once Djokovic is done. Again, records are made to be broken. It might happen. I don't see it happening. We'll just put it like that. So Novak Djokovic is in the semifinals against Musetti today. Lorenzo Musetti, the 25th seed from Italy. Medvedev did win that last game, so Alcaraz is up 4-3, but still up a break there on Medvedev in the third set at Wimbledon today, men's semifinals. Number 1, Alcaraz against Medvedev, and then Djokovic against Musetti coming up after that. All right, move on to baseball real quick, where the Kansas City Royals did not play last night, so they had the night off, and they have a pretty important series. It's not make or break, but it is against a team that is a game ahead of them in the wild card standings right now through, what do we have, 94 games that the Royals have played at 51-43 so far. The Red Sox are 51-41, so they played 92, but the Red Sox do have less losses than the Royals, so they do have that advantage in the wild card standings at the moment. The Royals and Red Sox start a 3-game series at Fenway Park tonight. Fenway Park tonight there in Boston at 6:10. Cole Reagans is slated to be the starter for the Royals. He's 5-6 with a 3.23 ERA going into tonight. He is a all-star as well for the Royals, and his opponent is undecided at the moment by the Red Sox. Let me see if it's posted on their website. Sometimes when I look at different sources, it might end up being somewhere else that we didn't see it. So, no, still to be determined for the Red Sox as far as the official website of the Royals and MLB. So, again, it is Cole Reagans going for the Royals, 5-6, 3.28 ERA, 6:10 first pitch tonight, Royals and Red Sox. And looking at those wild card standings, the Red Sox ended up winning last night, so they got that full game over the Royals in the standings at 51-41, while the Royals are 51-43. So yeah, if the Royals can get the win tonight, they'd be tied for that final wild card spot in the American League. The Yankees actually have the top spot, 3.5 games ahead of everybody else. The Twins are a game and a half ahead of the Red Sox for the sixth playoff spot in fifth, and then the Red Sox have that final spot, followed by the Royals 1 game back. The Astros are 2.5 back. The Tampa Bay Rays are 5.5 back at 46-47. So they're the only losing team that is fairly close still in the standings. 7 games back. The Detroit Tigers are 45-49. And the Rangers are 44-49. 7.5 out of the last wild card in the American League. As far as the standings are concerned, the Orioles again in first place, the AL East at 57-36, 2 ahead of the Yankees. The Guardians are 4.5 ahead of the Twins. Cleveland's 57-35, but they have lost 2 in a row. They're just 5-5 in their last 10. Twins creeping up. They won last night. They're 4.5 behind the Guardians, and the Royals are 7 behind behind Cleveland in the AL Central. Mariners are 52-43, 2 games ahead of the Astros in the West, and the Phillies in the NL East are 61-32, still the best record in baseball, 9.5 ahead of the Braves. Phillies have won 3 in a row and 7 of their last 10. The Brewers are 54-45, games ahead of the Cardinals in the NL Central. In the NL West, the Dodgers 55-39, 7 up on the Padres in the NL West. One other note from baseball from last night. It was a solid game from Paul Skeens. He pitched 7 no-hit innings as the Pirates beat the Brewers 1-0. He threw 99 pitches in his 11th Major League start, 65 for strikes, and he walked 1 while lowering his ERA to 1.90. When you look at the box score there, with the 99 pitches, he was taken out of the game despite having a no-hitter through 7. Had just the 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, as to say. And then Holderman gave up 2 hits for the Tigers there in the 8th inning, Colin Holderman, and then Aroldis Chapman came in, pitched 1 scoreless inning to wrap things up. He got his 4th save of the year for the Pirates. Pirates are 45-48, beating the division-leading Brewers 1-0 last night. Paul Skeens, again, 7 no-hit innings, but wasn't allowed to go back for the 8th due to a high pitch count at 99. And, still something to hang his hat on there. And obviously one of the best players in the majors right now, Paul Skeens. He is an all-star after being drafted just last year and going into this year on the opening day roster and being a solid pitcher. He's 6-0 with a 1.90 ERA so far this season. So Paul Skeens, again, the Pirates pitcher and all-star, and 7 no-hit innings last night in a 1-0 win over the Brewers. All right, I'm going to take a quick time out here. When we come back, we'll wrap up the sports ticket for the final time here on Katy Country 94, so be listening. When we come back, a former NFL defensive coordinator has passed away, and a couple other notes that we want to pass along as well.
Extended warranties on vehicles have become a very popular thing. You may have bought one, but what do you do to take advantage of the benefits when you need them? Kiever Brothers Automotive in Beloit works with most all warranty contracts, and we can be your advocate when you need repairs. Just bring us your car, your concerns, and a copy of the warranty contract, and we take care of the rest. Let our fast, friendly service help you get the most out of your extended warranty contract. Find Kiever Brothers Automotive just south of the courthouse in Beloit or on the web at KieverBrothers.com.
All right, Dusty Dennis back with you here on Waterside Wake Up on Katy Country 94. Waterside Wake Up's over. This is the sports ticket brought to you by Kiever Brothers Automotive in Beloit. I got sidetracked looking at my phone during that break, and then I got just completely confused, right? Anyway, just a couple notes to pass along, and then got a message from Adam. Hey, I'll do that for you, Adam. Just be listening. Anyway, we do move on to some sad news from yesterday. Former NFL defensive coordinator Monte Kiffin has passed away at the age of 84. It was announced by Ole Miss, as he's been a defensive analyst for his son Lane Kiffin's team since 2020. Lane Kiffin, the head coach of Ole Miss football. Ole Miss posted that Monte Kiffin, age 84, peacefully passed away today in Oxford, surrounded by family and friends. As his grandson Knox said, he's free of pain and smiling down on us from above. Please keep the Kiffin family in your thoughts and prayers during this time. Monte Kiffin passing away. Spent 13 seasons as the defensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's where a lot of people would know him. You know, I was a kind of a Buccaneers fan in my college days because they were drafting K-State players, most notably Martin Gramatica, who was the kicker, one of the best kickers to ever do it in college football, right? And he went to the Buccaneers. They drafted Aaron Lockett as well. Darnell McDonald was part of their team for a bit, so I kind of just gravitated toward Tampa Bay. Always been a Chiefs fan my whole life. They're always been my number one team, but when you're younger, you feel like, hey, maybe I could cheer for a team in the NFC as well. So I kind of gravitated toward the Buccaneers because they had K-State players on their team, and then just kind of stuck with them for a bit during the Tony Dungy and John Gruden days. And when John Gruden came that first year, they ended up winning the Super Bowl in 2003 Super Bowl. Monte Kiffin was the defensive coordinator on that team. 13 seasons with the Buccaneers, and his work with Tony Dungy to build the vaunted Tampa 2 scheme helped the Bucs win that Super Bowl, as we mentioned, in 2002. Dungy was gone. Gruden went to the Buccaneers, literally traded from the Raiders. Raiders had Bill Callahan as their coach, and both of those teams made it to the Super Bowl that year. And and the Tampa 2 scheme was copied by several other teams around the league because of the success that it had. Tampa Bay's defense is one of the best of all time. We're not talking just one of the best in the early 2000s or in that time frame. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense from like 1999 probably like 2004 or 5 was unreal. Like one of the best ever. In that 2002 team obviously is very, very good. They played the number one offense in the Super Bowl that year, and Rich Gannon led the Raiders, and Tampa Bay held their own. There were a couple big plays because that's who the Raiders were, but Monte Kiffin put together one heck of a defense, and former Bucs safety John Lynch said that the defense that Monte coordinated was the best unit that had ever played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Monte was a coordinator of it. He became part of the fabric of the Tampa community. He was so beloved, I guess is probably how I should say that. The Glazer family said, as a coach, Monte was a true innovator who got the best out of his players and helped create one of the signature defenses of the early 2000s. Again, as I said, not just the early 2000s, one of the signature defenses of NFL history. If you actually look at what they were able to do and what they did to opponents. He spent 25 years in the NFL, Monte Kiffin did. He also served as a coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints, and Dallas Cowboys. He was honored by the Pro Football Hall of Fame awards through its Awards for Excellence in March. He began his career in 1966 as a graduate assistant at Nebraska, following his playing career, learning from Hall of Famers Tom Osborne and Bob Devaney. Within 4 years, he had his first defensive coordinator job at Nebraska in 1970. He worked his way up to becoming head coach at NC State from 1980 to 82. Went 16-17 in those seasons, those 3 seasons. His only stint as a head coach. From there, he moved on to the NFL, linebacker coach with the Green Bay Packers in 1983, and then built his way back up again to being the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, helping them to a Super Bowl. He spent the bulk of his later years working for his son, Lane Kiffin, a defensive coordinator at Tennessee in 2009, and then from 2010 to 2012 at USC, defensive analyst at FAU and Ole Miss, where he served as an analyst since Lane became head coach in 2020. Like we said, 2020 was when Lane went there. Lane posted photos of himself as a child with his father on X, and the caption just said, "My hero." And Monte Kiffin's other son, Chris, has been a coach for the Rebels in the NFL. Monte and his wife, Robin, also have a daughter, Heidi. So Monte Kiffin, defensive coordinator, longtime defensive coordinator, passed away at the age of 84. One of the innovators of defense in the NFL. And, I talked about him for quite a bit there, and a lot of people might not even know who he is. People would probably know Lane Kiffin better than Monte Kiffin, who is Lane's father, Monte is. But definitely an interesting concept that he brought together with the Tampa 2, and then people just really liked what they saw, and they copied it and had a lot of success doing their own versions of it as well. Monte Kiffin passing away at the age of 84. All right, just going to see if there's anything new to update you on here before we wrap up the final sports ticket here on Katy Country 94. Dylan Gabriel apparently is the favorite for the Heisman here in college football. Dylan Gabriel, Oregon, one-time Oklahoma Sooner quarterback. Kyle Lowry's re-signing with the Philadelphia 76ers to stay in his hometown. He announced on Thursday he's agreed to remain with the 76ers. The 38-year-old averaged 8 points, 4.5 assists in 23 games with the Sixers in the regular season. Key part of Philadelphia's rotation down the stretch, and in 6-game first-round loss to the Knicks. I don't see anywhere on here it's a one-year deal, but there's no financial notes on that one as far as what it's worth for Kyle Lowry re-signing with the 76ers. Also, guard Sabrina Ionescu and the New York Liberty overcame a slow start and a 14-point deficit to handily beat the Chicago Sky 91-76 on Thursday night at the Barclays Center. The Liberty, who are 2-1 against the Sky, joined 13 other teams across history in winning 19 of their first 23 games of the season. 12 of those teams made the WNBA Finals that year of the 13 other teams. And 10 won the championship. So the Liberty obviously playing very, very well. Also in that game, Angel Reese extended her WNBA record streak of consecutive double-doubles to 15 games. She had a 5-rebound fourth quarter to get her to 10 rebounds on the night. She had 10 points and 10 rebounds. Again, that's never been done in the history of the WNBA. We're not just talking about rookies. We're talking about everybody. 15 consecutive double-doubles for Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky. But again, the New York Liberty get the win, 91-76. That'll be the last time I talk about WNBA basketball this summer as well here on the Sports Ticket. It's been a crazy summer as far as WNBA is concerned and women's basketball as well. So we'll continue to follow that. It'll be interesting to see how the season finishes up and plays out with the WNBA. The Las Vegas Aces obviously starting to win a lot more games, and Las Vegas and New York are clearly the two best teams right now in the WNBA, just the way they're playing, I think. And it'll be interesting to see if that plays to. I believe those two teams met in the finals last year in the WNBA. As the Aces have won 2 straight championships. Yeah, the Aces won the best-of-5 series 3-1 against the Liberty last year, and they beat the Connecticut Sun the year before that. Connecticut obviously was off to a good start this year as well. So Aces and Liberty, again, two of the best teams in the WNBA. If anybody's interested in the standings right now, the Liberty are 19-4. Connecticut Sun are 19-5. Aces are up to 14-7. They've won 8 of their last 10, though. So playing very good basketball of recently. The Minnesota Lynx are actually 16-6 and in the third spot in the standings. Indiana Fever are 9-14. They'd actually be a playoff team right now. There's only 12 teams in the WNBA. They do take 8 to the playoffs. So there's a look at the WNBA standings if you're interested in those. All right, I believe that's going to wrap up the Sports Ticket and my time here on the airwaves at Katy Country 94 as far as live. And you'll obviously hear my voice on some commercials and probably some things next week news-related. But it's my final live show on Waterside Wake Up this morning and the Sports Ticket. Like I said at the end, Waterside Wake Up, I completely am indebted to all the people here in North Central Kansas for helping me grow from a 19-year-old just starting in the business to a 40-year-old now off to see something new. I'll be in Hutchinson, by the way. I've never really said that. I was kind of just wanted to focus on North Central Kansas through this time. I will be moving to I actually not sure what town I'll be living in yet. We're going to work all that out, but I'll be based in Hutchinson and covering games in Lindsborg is the hope, and maybe some Bethany basketball where my nephew is playing college hoops as well. So, again, it's an opportunity that was outstanding, couldn't pass up. I'm going to definitely miss all the people here in North Central Kansas, though, over this time. So, thank you for everything. Again, Adam, I got your message, man. We're going to finish off the Sports Ticket here, and then after that, for Adam. And Adam, I appreciate the message. It was like I said earlier in the show, it was awesome to cover Smith Center Lady Red sports and see them at state championships and win a state championship in volleyball in 2021. It's something with Nick Lynn's teams that I'll always cherish during my time. And Adam, I know you girls were part of that, and I appreciate all the time that they put in a product that was unbelievable to call over these past 4 or 5 years with the Lady Red too. So I'm going to appease Adam here this morning, and after I play the Sports Ticket liner, you'll hear from Kiffin Brothers Automotive, and we're going to wrap up the day with Semisonic with Closing Time here on Waterside Wake Up, the Sports Ticket, Katy Country 94 on this Friday, July 12th. Thank you again so much, North Central Kansas. I'll love you forever, and we'll see you down the road.
State, regional, and national sports talk on your schedule. The Sports Ticket Podcast. Subscribe via Apple, Google, and TuneIn Podcasts or sunflowerstateradio.com.